Semra Hunter, Semra had a feeling that we'd need to speak to you today after what happened last night. And Koeman got the news after losing away to Rayo Vallecano for, I believe, the first time in over 20 years. After that, was the announcement inevitable?
I think it was inevitable almost even before that, if I'm completely honest with you. It felt like the situation had been untenable for quite some time. It felt like this really sort of bad divorce that was just being dragged out for no good reason. It was taking much longer than it really needed to. But at the end of the day, I suppose it was never really going to be straightforward in sacking Ronald Koeman to begin with because of the financial situation at the club. So it did feel like it was going to be a matter of time. As you say, the results were not coming on the road this season. They're yet to win. And in fact, they've only scored once. But on top of that, it's about the performances too. I'm sure you know that Barcelona fans, especially the ones here locally, it's not just about winning or getting the results. It's doing so with a particular style, with the Barcelona philosophy. It's about winning, but doing so properly, in their way, as they would like to say. And that wasn't really happening either way. So it did feel as though a change did need to be made. And in the end, Laporta did finally react in the way that many of the fans locally here in Barcelona had hoped that he would. And now a lot of people are crossing their fingers that it will be Xavi Hernandez who rides in as a knight in shining armour, if you like, to save the day.
Well, actually, we're going to talk about Xavi in just a moment, but I just want to clarify something, because there are rumours that Koeman was actually sacked on the flight home. Is that what you're hearing?
What I'm hearing is that it happened really, really quickly after the game. And to be quite honest with you, I think he suspected it was going to happen. If you saw his face in the press conference, it looked like someone who knew that it was game over, that his time was up, that he was going to be given the axe. And so the news did break really quickly after the game. I think about 2 or 3 hours after the game was finished. There had already been some leaks before that from members of the Catalan media saying that it was done and it was over. So I suppose it was a very uncomfortable flight back home, if that were the case, if he was told on the flight or before then. But it did happen all very quickly, and definitely before he got back here to Barcelona.
Well, see, is there any sympathy towards him, though? It's not his fault that they lost Lionel Messi, one of the best players to ever lived. I don't think it's really his fault that the finances have spiralled out of control. Is there any sort of sympathy out in Spain?
There is, to be honest with you. There is a degree of sympathy. There is a section of the fan base that feel that he was put into an impossible position from the outset, and they do feel sorry for him. He also had injuries piled on the fact that they didn't renew the squad over the summer. They were trying to sell rather than bring players in. As you mentioned, Messi left. The financial situation is a mess. He tried to do what he could with what he had. He changed the system many times. He tried to be more attacking at times, more vertical. He tried different ways of playing, different styles of playing. And with what he had available to him at a given time, it just nothing seemed to work. It never seemed to come off. A lot of fans are saying, or I shouldn't say a lot, but there is those supporters of Ronald Koeman are saying that they wish he had been given more time, that the infirmary is starting to clear out now, that perhaps things will change as these important players come back into the squad. So yes, there is a part here in Barcelona of the fans who feel that he was hard done by, that perhaps he should have been given the opportunity to work a little bit longer, that he should have been given more support from Laporta, who's never really given him the backing that I'm sure Koeman would have liked. And so yes, certainly a bit of sympathies, but overall, a lot of relief and happiness from fans that this perceived nightmare under Koeman is now over.
Yeah, that infirmary has been full, hasn't it? I mean, Aguero, Dembele, Coutinho, big players, quality players who have been out. They're ninth at the moment, and you've been talking about their financial situation. When a club's in a bad financial state, the best thing they can do is make sure that they qualify for the Champions League. How vital is that this season?
I think it's going to be massively important for them. They need to get out of the group stage because you're right, a big chunk of money that could help them financially would come in progressing as far as they possibly can in that competition. It's going to be really, really difficult for them. They only have one win so far in the group stage. And so They need to win everything else, at the very least draw, but I think they really need to go for it. They need to win. And if they don't get out of the group stage, then obviously it will put a little bit of a damper on them financially. But Laporta is looking for other ways of trying to bring money into the club. So at least not a big percentage is going to be relying heavily on the Champions League or in European competition, but it certainly would go a long way in trying to help minimize a little bit some of the major problems that they have.
Well, finally, let's talk about Xavi then, because there are reports that it's pretty much done, that he's going to be the new Barcelona manager. Is it as simple as that from what you're hearing?
It does seem like it really is. It's pretty straightforward. All roads lead to Xavi at this point in time. There were rumors that Gallardo was of interest, or even Roberto Martinez, but both of them at the beginning of October were very quick to turn those rumors down, to deny them, and saying that they were very committed to their respective jobs, either at River Plate or with the Belgian national team. They wanted to see those commitments through. So Xavi really is the only option. He himself said not too long ago that he would be quite happy to return home. He was just waiting for the phone call. And so now it seems like there are some members of the board of FC Barcelona who are either on their way to Qatar, or at least there's been a conference call. There has been some kind of contact made. And it does seem that we're in the stage where they're trying to figure out the fine-tuning of the details as to how they can make this contract work. They need to talk to Al Sadd. And then also figure out what they can do to bring him back to Barcelona. But I think Laporta would be quite keen to make that announcement as early as this afternoon, if at all possible. But it does seem as though it's pretty much a done deal. We're just waiting to hear the final details of how it's all going to be worked out in the end.
Well, if and when that is all completed, Semra, keep your phone on, because you know we'll be phoning you straight away. Thank you.
Thank you. Speak soon.